The original purpose of this documentary was to create a safe space where both Black and non-Black students of all backgrounds could openly discuss race relations here at Georgia Tech without feeling uncomfortable or attacked. Through this discussion, solutions could have been made and the disparity between racial groups and understanding could have been filled. However, when asked to speak up, the majority stayed silent and the minority was eager. Here are some of the stories of the Black faces at Georgia Tech.
My name is Amber Johnson.
I'm Austin Kennedy.
My name is Chelsea Lee Talking.
My name is Momatri Tutigadenki Romania.
My name is Jess Mintz.
And my name is Chelsea Burks.
I'm Nicole Washington.
My name is Xavier Galloway.
I was born in New Jersey and I spent a lot of time living here in Atlanta.
From Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm from Kingston, Jamaica.
I was born in the Bronx, New York, but I've been raised in Georgia basically like most of my life.
I'm from Marietta, Georgia.
I am from Atlanta, Georgia.
From Riverdale, Georgia. From Norcross, Georgia.
For the most part, I would say so. Georgia Tech's campus, for the most, well, in a lot of ways, is really segregated. So it's easy not to see what students in other racial groups go through, and that's not just Georgia Tech. That's national. You know, a part of privilege is not having to recognize or see the struggles, the impediments that other marginalized groups have to endure. So, and Georgia Tech is not an exception.
I was in the freshman freshman leadership organization, and I realized I didn't like click with everyone like I usually click with people. So I lived in a lot of places in the States, and yeah, I just realized like I wasn't like everyone else. Like people talk to me a different way, like, hey, or yo girl, what's up, you know, weird things.
A lot of times in class, I'll try to make a study group because I learn well in groups. You know, like I said, I'm not a person that discriminates based on anything, but a person looks at it, they think they're going to do. Ultimately, I want to do well, so you know, I'm asking, hey, you study this too, you know, I'm having difficulty.
Like even being in class for group projects, people like doing your work over, not wanting you to be in their group, like kind of looking at you like, why did we have her?
And it turns out like a lot of people that didn't look like me, white people, you know, I don't know why. It's just like they kind of shied away from having me.
Freshman year, I had like an instance where I worked with two like white males, and they kind of just like pushed all of my opinions to the side, and then would bring them back as their own. But since it didn't really negatively affect my grade that much, I kind of didn't like focus on it.
I know there are lots of Black students on campus who feel really othered in spaces that aren't created for and by Black students.
One of the weirdest things that I thought of, at least my freshman year, was why I could not get into frat parties without knowing a brother.
I was walking out of Skylar's building, down the stairs, like out the building, and so if you walk out the building, there's Skylar's walkway going this way, and there was a guy, a really old guy, like from the other generation of life, that was walking down campus, and he had like a poster and like a Confederate flag like in his hand, like really huge, and I was like, I always knew like growing up that like the Confederate flag meant something bad for like Black people. I knew that like in America. I didn't know exactly what was the whole history behind it, but I just knew that. And so when I saw that, I was kind of like taken aback. I was like, whoa, okay, maybe just because I knew the South. But when like he stopped and like turned to me, and like I was like questioning why is he looking at me like that, and I was reading like the poster he had and the flag, and I was like, oh, okay, so you're racist. But socially, it's very draining. Just like I can never walk into some place, like in class, an organization, a fraternity, and like be seen as a person rather than like that Black girl, or like, do you even go here?
While new members of Georgia Tech's Greek community run from house to house for their yearly Run for the Roses, the Phi Delta Theta house remains quiet. The fourth-year student says members were cursing and screaming a racial slur at her from the frat house.
I opened my window to hear what they were saying, and they were screaming F you and F you repeatedly at me.
Thursday, several students held a silent protest. Now, according to the university's vice president of student life, they're also investigating and have met with the students to take action to make the campus more
It's draining just especially what's been through, what we've seen on the news and stuff, as just what's going on with Black students in America. Like, I'm tired of seeing that. Like, what's going on with us socially, what's happened recently with Videl on our campus, and what they're doing. You know, a little debacle with that. Like, it's just tired that we have to still go through this. It's 2015, going on 2016. I don't want to feel like I have to explain my rights as a human or my feelings as a Black student. I want to be viewed as a student first. I want to have to explain or feel like I have to explain my skin color to you.
When I walk down front row, like, I'm literally on my guard. Like, I have my phone at ready to video like tape something if something happens. Like, literally at ready. I don't feel safe, especially when I walk by like Phi Delta because of what happened.
I'm standing like with the student in the Phi Delta Theta situation. I don't feel like that's something someone would make up like to advance an agenda or anything like that.
It definitely hit hard to know that it can happen right here at this school, that I've been here for 4 years, and I definitely love this institution, but to know that some of my peers will take it to the next step to just harm, and that's harmful. It is harmful. It's not physical harm, but it's harmful on another student to even say something to that degree to them, and knowing that it is terrible. It really hurt hard for me, honestly. It's disgusting. Like hollering racial slurs at a person should not be accepted on any type of level, and especially like at a campus where we're supposed to be, you know, integrated, all about community.
One, like, they never even issued an apology. Two, they continue to say that the incident that happened was a lie. Three, that's like a testament of their character, of just like, oh, we're just gonna blatantly deny all instances of racial discrimination that us as an organization have like brought upon other students.
I mean, I read articles that they said that OSI was unfair about this, and you know, things like that. I have really no say on that because I don't know their entire judicial process, but I still believe that they deserve the punishment that they did receive.
I am both satisfied and dissatisfied with the response to the incident from Black students and from Georgia Tech's administration. There's a lot that has been done, more than I thought, and there's a lot more that could be done.
I'm gonna be like Miss Georgia Tech. I'm gonna be an SGA and make all the friends and do campus tour guides. It's like I'm gonna do everything. And then like my first year happened, and then my second year, and I was like, maybe not.
Empowered. I feel extremely empowered on this campus. Confused sometimes, and then uncomfortable at other times. I have friends who go to HBCUs or go to other predominantly white institutions, and I still feel like the opportunities that have been given to me here is beyond what I see is given to them at their schools.
Transformative.
You know, when I say confused, I mean like I could be in a room full of like so many people who are so diverse and we all get along, and then I step outside and it's all like lines again.
Determined, feel determined to make it better.
Exhausted.
Through the leadership and the organization that I've gotten involved with, I've become a more compassionate, aware, engaged, sensitive like leader, servant, and student.
Say tired. I really do feel tired.
Of course, academically, because like that's kind of what we signed up for. But socially, it's very draining.
If we're trying to affect systematic change on campus, we have to be unified. We have to know what we're working towards. So we have to organize way more, because right now it's not enough at all. I think I would like there to be more programs concerning diversity and inclusion, like kind of built into the structure of Georgia Tech.
There should be more programming to open up discussion for situations dealing with race.
Maybe that's a GT 1000 course, maybe that's a Think Big community, maybe that's a section for like English that everyone has to take, like a section for that.
The Diversity Center, or that's in the Flag Building, they did a paper bag type thing where they had us openly speak about the different issues on campus, being a white student, a Black student, white privilege, that's what it was, the white privilege. And there were more events like that that were open for all students to participate in, or have a class that's actually discussing that. I think that could really be beneficial for the campus, because those discussions have to happen.
The last time I felt like I was in a diverse, intentional community was when I did social justice training with Dean Ray, and it was students of all different backgrounds, all different races and ethnicities, and like after that, I really felt like I was friends with everyone. So I feel like that can kind of help campus culture, making people feel like a part of a family rather than just like peers who you have to like meet the curve.
We were kind of discussing this earlier when we had like a meeting for our program organization we're trying to implement, but basically cultural sensitivity trainings that would have to be like implemented probably like during FACET. Like when you come into this school, you need to take a class or a seminar or whatever, or other people's sensitivity, right? Other people's culture, for to understand any type of person that will be on this campus.
I really, really like it when non-black students are courageous enough to have dialogue, even if they might disagree with how I feel. If they're asking me the question from a place where they're willing to learn, then I'm 100% open to conversations like that. I wish I could have more of those.
There are some white students who are afraid to ask certain questions. They don't realize what their privilege is, but there should also be black students who are willing to give the answers to them, because we don't want them to be ignorant forever, because that doesn't solve any problem. And it goes the other way. Let white students know what is bothering us, what we do not like, and so they could be more aware of what not to do and what not to say around us, or not even around us, but period, not to have those mindsets. And again, this applies for all minorities, not just your race. Sexuality, your religion, all that should be discussed in a more comfortable and open environment.
Change is going to come with us. Like my whole thing, change, like if we're not changing, or if the individual's not, they see an issue and they're just waiting on change to happen, it's never going to happen. So I feel like if you see that there's a barrier, then break it down.
And then, I mean, just to be honest, just taking away the labels of people, like taking away the white, the black, like whatever, taking away the labels. I literally, growing up in Jamaica, I never had to fill out like a government form with my race in my life, like ever. The first time I filled out a form with my race was when I applied for the Common App. And I was so confused, because I was like to my dad, I was like, they're asking me if I'm black or if I'm Hispanic or if I'm white, but like I look black, I'm part Cuban, like my grandmother's from Europe and she's Jewish, like so what am I? I was about to put like other and just like type all my races like out on a form.
All lives do matter, and I'm never going to take that away. But there are some lives who do not have. There are some lives who aren't deemed the same consideration of like humanity as others. So like, yes, all lives do matter, and if like a white person were slain in the same respect as Mike Brown, there would be vigils. It would be like a day of mourning. But when you do have someone who is black and all the things that come along with it, and they're killed, then you have people like kind of justifying their death. It's kind of like, the whole, if you have two houses, right? And it's like, all houses matter, but like this house is on fire. Like, are you going to put water on the one that's already stable?
So why not get yourself educated about diversity at Georgia Tech? You can receive more information and get your questions answered from any of the following organizations: the Caribbean Student Association, the Georgia Tech Division of Student Life, the African Students Association, the African American Student Union, OMED Educational Services, or the Georgia Tech Institute Diversity Department.